Hi friends, it is so good to see everyone, and I am so sad that we cannot meet in person because I love going and seeing you guys in Ms. Hardy's classroom, but for right now this will have to do. Ms. Hardy tells me that you guys are learning about weather and science, so today I'm going to do a little bit of a science experiment with you. So to start off, we're going to be covering your standard S1E1, which is to obtain, evaluate, and communicate weather data to identify weather patterns. So today we're going to be building a way to gather weather patterns. So here's a couple things that might just be review, but the first thing is, what is weather? And weather is what the sky and the air outside are like, such as it's cloudy, or it's rainy, or it's sunny. Then what we're going to talk about is, what is wind? So wind is moving air, and it's blowing because there's changes in temperature. So the wind blows over warm places and brings the air into the cool places. And winds affect the weather a lot, like I just said. They move the air from where it's warm, like Texas or Florida, and they move the air to where it's cold, like where there's snow, New York. Wind does not only move the air, but it can also bring in rain, or it can bring in sand, like a sandstorm. So that's pretty interesting. So today we're going to be creating a weather vane. And a weather vane can help us see which way the wind is blowing. So we're going to see which direction the wind is blowing, and then we can tell which way the air is moving. And if you want, you can record it in your weather journal. You don't have to. So here is a completed weather vane that I made earlier. And as you can see, it's pretty simple. I'm going to be showing you guys how to make it, but it says north, south, east, west on it. And then this part will point to the direction the wind is blowing, and this way we'll actually gather the wind. So it'll tell us which way it's blowing. It's pretty interesting. So I'll make one with you guys. So to do this today, we are going to need a few things. First things first, we're going to need a paper plate. I'm using a smaller one, but you can use whatever size you have. Also, a little plastic or paper cup. You're going to need a pencil with an eraser. This is important. I didn't do this the first time and it didn't work out. We're also going to be using a straw. I'm just using a paper straw, but plastic works as well. We're going to be using some straight pins that you would use for sewing. And we're going to need some scissors. And we're going to need some type of paper that you cut. I'm using sticky notes. You can use printer paper or construction paper, whatever you have. And I'll show you guys how to cut that. And then we're also going to be needing a little bit of tape just to help us. So before we get started, there are a few things that are safety, of course. The first thing is the scissors. Scissors are sharp. You should only be doing this experiment when you have parents with you. And probably let your parents cut things if you can, or an older sibling, just that way you don't get hurt. Another thing is the straight pins. I don't know if you guys have seen these before. I'll try to show you. So this end is flat and this end is very pointy. It is also very sharp, so be careful. You don't want to poke your fingers or anything. So probably just let your parents help you with that part as well. Okay, cool. So now we've gone over safety. We've gone over what weather is. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so as you see, I've moved my camera, but it's still me. It's still all the same. So the first thing we're going to do is grab our paper plate, and we're going to grab our cup and put it down in the middle, or as close to the middle as you can. Then we're going to take our pencil and draw a circle, just tracing the outline of your paper cup. There you go. And it should just look like this. Then what I do is I draw arrows on mine in 4 directions. So at the top, at the bottom, to the right, and to the left. And these are going to be where you label. So we'll put an N at the top for north, an S at the bottom for south. To the right, we're going to put an E for east, and to the left, we're going to put a W for west. So it'll look like this, except mine is backwards, of course. Then what we'll do is we'll take our paper cup and we'll put it back in the center. And we're going to use 4 pieces of tape to tape this down. In the beginning, it's kind of wobbly, but the more tape you add, the steadier it becomes. And you don't want it super duper rigid where it can't move at all, because then your wind vane won't work at all. So yes. So it's kind of wobbly with just 2 pieces, but then when I add the 3rd and 4th piece, it's much straighter. Next, what we're going to do, take our pencil, hold your cup with your hand, and with your other hand, poke a hole through your cup and insert your pencil into there. Then what we're going to do, take your paper straw, and I found this a little bit easier, but you're going to put a hole in the center right here with your straight pin. Of course, be careful. And so we're going to put a little hole all the way through. We're just going to insert this all the way through. So it's like that, it's in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to insert our straight pin into our eraser. This would probably be another good step to get a parent or an older sibling or somebody to help you, because that straight pin end is very sharp. Next, what we're going to do is we are going to use our scissors or your parents, and you're just gonna cut straight through the straw on the end. So you want a little bit of a gap where your triangle and your square can sit. And so we'll just do that. There we go. The next thing that we're going to do is, let's move that out of the way. I'm going to take 2 sticky notes. And what you want is you want it to be at least 3 inches. So I kind of use my knuckle right here. It's about 1 inch. And so I'll measure 1, 2, 3 this way, and then 1, 2, 3 that way. So I only have to cut off a little bit of the square. And it's okay if it's not perfect, but you want it about 3 inches so it can catch the wind. So this is perfect. And then something similar with your other piece of paper. Typically what I just do, I just cut diagonal straight across, and that just gives me a perfect size triangle. Okay, cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to insert our 2 pieces of paper into our straw. So carefully hold your straw, and it might take some negotiating a little bit. The straw has kind of shifted, but you're gonna add 1 at the end and then 1 at the other end. So that is perfect. Okay, and this is our weather vane. So this is what it looks like. As I said earlier, the wind is gonna catch on this end, and this one will point which direction it's coming from. And then you can just look at the bottom of your plate and see which direction the wind is blowing, either north, south, east, or west. And so I'm gonna take mine outside and show you guys what it does. Hi friends, so as you can see, it is moving a little bit. It is just a tad bit windy, not much at all, but you can see that my wind vane started out towards the east, and now it's moving a little bit towards the south, and now back up towards the east. Isn't that so cool? So we can see which direction the wind is blowing by the arrow. And this is a super neat way to tell which direction weather's coming from.